Hey guys, it's Rachel here, and today I'm going to be filming a video all about the first book I've read this year, 2016. It's like a really big deal to people trying to decide what book they're going to read for the very first book of the year. I feel like some people think it's like a really intimidating thing trying to decide what you're going to read. Is it going to start your year off well? Is it going to start your year off on a bad foot? How you feel when you trying to decide what you're going to read? And for me, I have not read very much this past 2 months. I don't think I read any books in the month of December. I read like a little bit here and there, but I had made a video about a TBR that I was going to do for January, and up to this point I have only read one book for that so far, and it is my very first book of the year. So if you guys are curious, my very first book of the year was My Brain on Fire, My Month of Madness by Susanna Cahalan. Now, I'm trying to read more nonfiction, and I picked this one up, and I'm trying to also do a better thing about, like, when I buy a book, trying to read it as quickly as I can, because if I don't, then I'm going to just put it away and I'm not going to pick it up again for a long time. But this was my first book of the year. Now, this video is not a review of this book, unless you guys want a review of this book, but this is not a review of this book. This is just me letting you know this was my first book of the year. And did it live up to how I felt I was going to feel at the beginning of the year? My first book? It did. I really enjoyed this. I have never started the year with a non-fiction book, and this year I did. Pretty much this follows a woman named Susanna Cahalan, and she's 24, I believe, at the time of this book, and she is a writer for the New York Post. And all of a sudden she starts having seizures and having mood swings and having all these kinds of weird takes, and they think that she has schizophrenia, she's epileptic, she has all these kinds of issues, and she is very close to being put into a psychiatric ward of a hospital, and her family and her are trying very hard to figure out what is wrong with her, because they know that she is not like that. These are just like really quick, and then you find out that she has a very rare disease, or not disease, but a very rare illness, and at the time I believe she is only the 200 and something person to have been discovered to have this really rare illness, and this is pretty much that story. This is such a fascinating book, and she does not narrate. I listened to this on audiobook, and she does not narrate it, but the narrator does a really good job narrating for the having the voices for the doctors, for Susanna, for all the people. It's really interesting. I really enjoyed this book, and I'm really glad that this was my first book of the year. I was really nervous again that I was going to pick up my first book of the year, and it was going to be something that was going to like really put me in a reading slump, and this made me feel good. Like, for something that this is my first book in like 2 months, for something like this, I'm really glad that I enjoyed it, and I am just like in the mood to read right now. I'm really in the mood for it. I'm actually really in the mood to read a lot of nonfiction, so if you guys have like any recommendations for nonfiction books specifically geared towards like psychology or really rare illnesses, that would be so cool. But other than that, guys, I just wanted to do a quick video and let you guys know what my first book of the year was, and let you guys know that I am back and I am super excited to be reading. And if you guys have any questions, please let me know about down below. But other than that, guys, thanks so much for commenting, liking, and subscribing, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. Bye.